Tyrannosaurus Rex, the name that made every other predator look like it was trying too hard. This wasn't just a dinosaur. It was a biological nightmare with a 12,000-pound bite force, enough to crush a car frame like aluminum foil. 6 tons of muscle wrapped around jaws that didn't bite. They deleted bones. Scientists found Triceratops skulls with puncture wounds straight through. Not scratches, holes. 13-meter length, 7-ton weight, teeth the size of bananas. But here's what the movies get wrong. Those tiny arms, useless for hunting. Pure vestigial leftovers. The real weapon was the head. A skull built like a battering ram with serrated knives attached. And here's the part that ruins movies. It didn't roar, it probably rumbled. A low-frequency bass that vibrated your chest before you even saw it. Fossils show healed injuries on prey animals, meaning some survived the first attack. Not many. Not for long. T-Rex ruled North America 66 million years ago during the late Cretaceous, and nothing shared its throne. No competitors, no rivals, just prey. When it disappeared, the age of megapredators should have ended. It didn't. Giganotosaurus. The name means giant southern lizard, and it earned every syllable. Longer than T-Rex by a full meter, built like a freight train with teeth. 13 meters of predatory perfection stalking Cretaceous Argentina. But here's the twist. Its bite was weaker, way weaker. Maybe 6,000 pounds compared to T-Rex's double. So how did it survive? How did it take down prey that weighed 70 tons? Pack tactics. Fossil evidence suggests these monsters coordinated, surrounded prey, and shredded titanosaurs piece by piece. Slice, retreat, repeat. Death by 1,000 cuts. T-Rex was a solo tank built to dominate through raw power. Giganotosaurus was a wolf pack in reptile skin, trading individual strength for collective lethality. Different strategy, same result. Everything else died. Its teeth weren't designed to crush. They were designed to carve, serrated blades that caused catastrophic bleeding. One good strike and prey was on a timer. But South America wasn't done experimenting with nightmare designs. Spinosaurus, evolution's weirdest flex. 18 meters long, the longest predator ever to walk land, except it didn't just walk. It swam. 7 tons of confusion with a crocodile skull, a sail on its back taller than a human, and claws the size of human forearms. For decades, scientists couldn't figure out what it even ate. The teeth were wrong for crushing. The body was wrong for chasing. Turns out, fish. Massive Cretaceous fish that would dwarf modern marlins. This thing waded into North African rivers 95 million years ago and snatched prey that would have drowned other predators. Its nostrils sat high on its skull, perfect for ambush breathing. Dense bones like a penguin's kept it submerged. And yes, its ancestors were land hunters. This one said no thanks and went back to the water. Nature's a comedian. Recent discoveries show it had paddle-like feet. A dinosaur that could swim. The debate still rages whether it was primarily aquatic or just opportunistic. Either way, it dominated 2 ecosystems simultaneously. But while Spinosaurus made headlines, another killer stayed hidden in plain sight. Carcharodontosaurus, the shark-toothed lizard, same size as T-Rex, 12 to 13 meters of North African death. But teeth designed like serrated knives instead of bone crushers. 8-inch blades that replaced themselves constantly. A conveyor belt of surgical steel. It didn't dominate through power. It bled prey out. One slice, then patience. The wound did the work. Fossils show it lived alongside Spinosaurus in Cretaceous North Africa, meaning 2 of the largest predators ever shared the same ecosystem. Somehow. Different hunting strategies prevented competition. Carcharodontosaurus took land prey. Spinosaurus took aquatic prey. When resources overlap, extinction usually follows. Not here. Both thrived until the meteor ended the argument. Its skull alone measured 5 feet, with a brain surprisingly large for a dinosaur. Intelligence paired with lethality. And when dinosaurs vanished, mammals finally got their turn to experiment with size. Smilodon, the saber-toothed nightmare that proved size isn't everything. Sure, it weighed 400 kilograms, less than a modern tiger, but those fangs, 18 centimeters of curved death, weren't for biting. They were surgical instruments. Smilodon didn't chase prey across plains. It ambushed from cover. Its forelimbs were absurdly strong, more powerful than any modern cat, built to wrestle prey 3 times its size to the ground, pin the neck, expose the throat, drive those sabers through the windpipe. One strike, no struggle, no second chances. Fossils from the La Brea tar pits show dozens died together, likely pack hunters that got trapped mid-kill trying to save pack mates. Social behavior in an apex predator. They dominated Ice Age America for 2 million years, from Alaska to Argentina. Then, humans arrived 12,000 years ago. Megafauna started disappearing. Coincidence? Probably not. Smilodon starved when its prey vanished. But mammals weren't the only ones evolving nightmare designs. Megalania, the lizard that shouldn't exist, but did. 5 meters long, 600 kilograms of scaled horror that stalked Australia 40,000 years ago. Picture a Komodo dragon the size of a saltwater crocodile. Now add venom, not rattlesnake venom, anticoagulant toxins that prevented blood from clotting. One bite delivered through serrated teeth, bacteria-filled saliva, and venom that caused shock and bleeding. Then it followed. You'd weaken, collapse, and wake up being eaten. Fossils show it coexisted with early Aboriginal humans. Cave paintings depict giant lizards. They weren't myths, they were field guides. When Megalania disappeared, Australia lost its largest land predator since the dinosaurs. But other continents had their own mysterious giants. Deinosuchus. The name means terrible crocodile. Understatement of the Cretaceous. This thing reached 10 to 12 meters, weighed 8 tons, and had a bite force estimated at 18,000 pounds. Stronger than T-Rex. Let that sink in. It wasn't fully terrestrial. It lived in rivers and coastal swamps of late Cretaceous North America 75 million years ago. But here's why it counts. It killed dinosaurs. Fossils show bite marks on hadrosaur bones that match Deinosuchus teeth perfectly. It didn't hunt on open plains. It waited at shorelines where prey came to drink, grabbed them mid-sip, and death rolled until nothing was left but bones. Even T-Rex avoided the water, because in the rivers, something bigger was hunting. This creature marked the end of an era, not because it went extinct, because when the asteroid hit, the Age of Giants ended. The ocean didn't lose its monsters, the land did. And that, my friends, is evolution's cruelest joke. Dire wolf. The name alone sounds like it crawled out of a fantasy novel, except this one was real, and it didn't need magic to terrify everything in its path. Picture a wolf, but wrong. Heavier skull, shorter legs, jaws built to crush bone instead of slash flesh. It weighed up to 80 kilograms, 25% more muscle than modern wolves. That bite force? Around 1,500 newtons, enough to crack a bison femur like a breadstick. But here's the twist. It wasn't actually a wolf. DNA from 2021 proved dire wolves split from gray wolves 5.7 million years ago. A completely separate lineage native to the Americas. When they went extinct 13,000 years ago, they didn't evolve into smaller wolves. They just died. And gray wolves, invasive species from Eurasia, moved in and took over. Dire wolves didn't hunt alone. They worked in coordinated packs, isolating prey, wearing them down until exhaustion did half the work. Fossils from La Brea tar pits show they died by the thousands, lured in by trapped animals. Because even apex predators make mistakes when dinner looks too easy. When dire wolves vanished, another Ice Age killer was already dominating Europe. Cave lion, Panthera spelaea. The name means cave, but this cat didn't hide in them. It hunted near them, and humans painted it on the walls out of respect. Or fear. Probably both. This wasn't just a bigger lion. It was 10% larger than modern lions, weighed over 300 kilograms, and had a mane so reduced it barely existed. Because when you're built like a freight train, intimidation comes from size, not hair. Cave paintings show them hunting horses, bison, even young mammoths. Some depict humans running, others show spears. The relationship was complicated. These lions ruled Ice Age Europe for 370,000 years, surviving climate shifts that killed everything else. Then 14,000 years ago, they disappeared. Prey gone, temperatures rising, humans spreading. The throne stayed empty until something even larger claimed it. Arctodus, the short-faced bear. Except short-faced is a terrible name for a creature that stood 3.5 meters tall on its hind legs and weighed 900 kilograms. For decades, scientists thought it was a pursuit predator. Long legs, built for running down prey like a bear-sized cheetah. Turns out, those legs were too fragile for high-speed chases and sharp turns. Recent bone analysis tells a different story. Nitrogen isotopes suggest scavenging. Skeletal structure suggests power walking, not sprinting. Arctodus likely covered massive distances sniffing out carcasses, then bullied every other predator off the kill. Dire wolves, saber-toothed cats, none of them argued when this thing showed up. Its bite force? Over 4,000 newtons, strong enough to crush skulls. It didn't need to hunt. It just needed to arrive and everyone else left. The headline predators like T-Rex, Spinosaurus, Giganotosaurus, Megalania, and Smilodon are already archived on the channel. So today, we're going deeper. And deeper means older, stranger. Built before nature figured out what too much meant. Andrewsarchus. The name sounds like a law firm. The skull looks like something that ate the lawyers. 83 centimeters long, the largest land predator skull ever found. Attached to a body scientists can only guess at because we've never found the rest. Estimates put it at 3.5 meters long, weighing over 1,000 kilograms. For years, people thought it looked like a wolf-bear hybrid with hooves. Modern analysis suggests something different. It was likely closer to entelodonts and hippos. Picture a carnivorous pig with a massive elongated snout. Because evolution doesn't repeat itself, it just gets weirder. It lived 45 million years ago during the Eocene, back when mammals were still experimenting with body plans. Some became whales, others became this. Jaws strong enough to crush bone, teeth designed for both meat and scavenging. Was it a predator or a scavenger? Honestly, with jaws like that, it didn't need to choose. But Andrewsarchus wasn't the strangest thing evolution tried, not even close. Titanoboa, the largest snake ever. Not a dinosaur, not a lizard, just 13 meters of pure muscle that made anacondas look like garden hoses. It weighed over 100 kilograms. A single vertebra was the size of a dinner plate, and it lived 60 million years ago in what's now Colombia, in swamps so hot and humid that cold-blooded giants could exist. Titanoboa didn't have venom, didn't need it. Constriction at that size doesn't squeeze, it crushes. Ribs collapse, blood flow stops, organs rupture. Prey died before they understood what grabbed them. Fossils show it ate crocodiles, not small ones, full-grown prehistoric crocodiles. Because when you're that big, everything else is food. Then the climate cooled. Snakes need heat to grow. Titanoboa shrank back into evolutionary history, leaving behind only bones and nightmares. But not all monsters lived on land. Mosasaurus, technically aquatic, practically everywhere. This 15-meter marine reptile didn't stay in deep water. It patrolled coastlines, river mouths, shallow seas. Anywhere prey came close, Mosasaurus was waiting. A double-hinged jaw with cutting teeth designed to shear flesh, not swallow whole. It wasn't a dinosaur. It was a giant lizard that crawled back into the ocean and became the apex predator of the late Cretaceous seas. For large prey, like other marine reptiles, it used shake feeding. Bite, twist, rip chunks off. Same method crocodiles use today. Smaller prey got swallowed, bigger prey got dismembered. When the asteroid hit 66 million years ago, Mosasaurus died with the dinosaurs. But the ocean didn't forget what worked. Modern predators still use ambush tactics, explosive speed, jaws built for overkill, and some never left land at all. Komodo dragon, the largest living lizard, proof that monsters didn't go extinct. They just got smaller and moved to Indonesia. 3 meters long, 90 kilograms, equipped with venom that drops blood pressure and induces shock. For years, scientists thought it was bacteria in their saliva. Turns out, evolution gave them venom glands. Here's the real strategy. Komodos are ambush predators. They explode from cover, bite hard, rip flesh with serrated teeth. The combination of venom and massive mechanical damage usually kills fast. If prey escapes, they track by scent. But that's a failed hunt, not the plan. The bite and wait for days myth came from watching animals that got away. When the attack works, death happens in minutes, not days. They've killed humans. Not often, but enough to remind us that apex predators don't retire. They adapt. Komodos survived volcanic eruptions, climate shifts, human expansion. They're still here because they're too efficient to fail. But efficiency isn't always about size. Spotted hyena, the most misunderstood killer on Earth. Villains in every movie, cowards in every story. Reality? Bone-crushing apex predators that hunt 95% of what they eat. Bite force around 4,500 newtons, one of the strongest bites of any living mammal. Strong enough to crack elephant bones. Their stomachs digest bone, hide, hooves, everything. Nothing gets wasted. Hyenas hunt in packs with complex social structures. They strategize, communicate, and outthink prey. Lions steal from hyenas more often than the reverse. But the laugh ruined their reputation. They've survived for millions of years across Africa, Europe, and Asia. Climate changed. Prey shifted. Hyenas adapted. Because when you're built to eat anything and outsmart everything, extinction becomes optional. And that's the pattern. Every predator on this list succeeded because they didn't fight fair. They crushed harder, bullied smarter, ambushed faster, or simply refused to die when the world changed. Evolution isn't about being the strongest. It's about being the last one standing when the dust settles. And sometimes the scariest thing isn't what we lost. It's what's still here, the gray wolf, smaller than its ancestors, still running the same playbook, still winning. If you made it this far into the depths, hit subscribe, drop a like, ring the bell, and tell me in the comments which land predator you'd least want to meet in the wild.